All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, this is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, March 10th. According to Verizon, it's 10 o'clock, so I guess we can get started. My name's Doug McIven. I'm the Special Magistrate. The first thing I'm going to do is swear everyone in, and I guess I get to do this a dozen times today. So everyone raise your right hand. Say I do and we're done. Does everyone promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Not bad audio issues here right now. All right, most of our cases today will be fine assessment hearings or violation hearings. In those cases, the village goes first. They'll present their evidence, let you look at it, see if you object, and then you get to go second and then tell me what your side of the case is, and I get to make a decision. That switches when we get to the fine mitigation hearings, which I see we have 5 of. They've already been through the process and had 2 hearings, and they're going first because they're the ones asking for relief. I think that's my normal speech, although it is a little blurry through the mask. So we can get started. Village, what's your first case?
Thank you, sir. Amity Barnard, Assistant Village Attorney. We're starting on page 1, fine assessment hearings, 20-0617-10079 Yeoman Lane, Antonio and Estrella Oliver.
Okay, where did they go? Did they go to that microphone in the back? Back microphone.
No, there.
Oh, no, this one here? Why do they have that thing set up over there then?
For public meetings.
Oh, well, that's confusing. Up against the wall, people, with the other podium. All right, please identify yourself for the record.
Good morning. Yolanda Oliver, a daughter of Antonio Oliver, who's the homeowner.
Dina Foley, Code Enforcement for the Village of Royal Palm. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so this will be an easy one, I hope.
And if you could look at the computer monitor to the right there, I'm going to scroll through some documents, and at the end I'm going to ask you if you have any objection to the documents.
Yeah, if you could reduce it from like 198% to like 100, it'll be a lot easier to scroll. There you go.
Okay, Exhibit 1
Green card or green.
is the certified
green
mailings.
receipt.
Right,
Green
signed green
signed.
card. Previous order finding violation. Verification of ownership is Exhibit 2. Exhibit 3 is the village's permit information, ISO 400. And Exhibit 4 is affidavit of compliance.
So are you requesting a finding of fact in this matter?
No, this was out of compliance for 11 days, so the fine is $275 and not continuing, but I believe the respondents are going to make a request of you.
Okay. This was going to be easy. What are you requesting?
Really just a pardon for the fees. The application started the workflow on the 22nd. I should have started earlier. I didn't realize it was going to take 15 days, and as of yesterday, an inspection was scheduled for this morning, and all fees have been made. So I'm not sure if we are able to have the pardon for the additional days after the 25th or any fees due.
The village is amenable to that, so it'll be an order assessing no fine.
Who's buzzing? Who's somebody else? Smitty, your fault. So I saw people shaking their heads. Does that mean you do not care about the mitigation portion of this program?
We would be acceptable or amenable to a order assessing no fine.
I'm sorry?
They said they would be accepting an order granting no fine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Granted, no fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, it takes longer than you think.
So does this conclude this case, or
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you do not get your fence inspected, you'll see me in 6 months.
Okay, wonderful.
So if you get it inspected, and do yourself a favor, keep all these documents. I keep them in a drawer, my fence permit, my playhouse permit, etc.
Absolutely.
That way they can't get lost on you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Oh, sorry. Stop.
We have the
You
claim.
go. Are we wiping down now? Is that part of our routine?
Yes.
Yeah. We have to send in the hazardous duty crew.
Here she comes.
It's the Lysol lady. Yeah, when you make the exhibit smaller, it scrolls so much better.
Yeah, it just auto propagates to open them at that size for some reason.
Yeah, it's probably its default opening
Mhm.
size or something. Tell them not to breathe or talk or do anything. All right, what's our next one? So I just can get myself.
Same page, 20-0577, 159.
Oh, next page. Okay.
Thank you. 20-1577, 159 Sunflower Circle, Gene F. Duderval.
Margaret,
Garage door case. Yes.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, AS 400 permit information.
Can you state your name for the record, sir? Can you state your name?
Say again?
Your name?
My name is Morgan Pierre, but Jean Vitaval is coronavirus. He's not feeling well for like 2-3 weeks. So I'm here to represent him, and he need more time.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Can you restate your name
Morgan Pierre.
and spell your
it,
last
please.
name?
Pierre is my last name.
Yes, can you spell it?
Pierre.
And first name is Wilkins?
Wilkins.
William or
Wilkins. Wilgns.
I never would have gotten that. All right, and you are what relation to Gene? A
Yes,
friend?
my cousin. We
Yes,
live in,
okay,
I
I'll take
live in the
cousin.
house also.
Tenant, cousin. Replace garage door without a permit.
Okay, if you could, sir, look at the computer monitor. I'm going to scroll through some documents, and at the end, I'm going to ask you if you have any objection. The first exhibit is Exhibit 1. It's an affidavit of service for the order finding violation, the mailing documentation, the previous order finding violation, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3 is the village's permit information, and that's it. Do you have any objection to these documents, sir?
I cannot have any objection. It's about to him, but I need a copy of the document because he needs to get a lawyer because he can't with him.
Well, he does. What he needs more than a lawyer is a permit. This case is based upon failing to get a garage door permit. If he's the owner of the property, or Gene, is Gene a male or female?
Male.
Okay, because it can be either. I don't know. If he gets a permit for the garage door and the permit gets issued, the fines stop. So if you want to get a document, you just ask the clerk or the secretary of the board or something, or file a Chapter 119 public records request to get your document. What's going to happen here, though, is because we are where we are and they didn't appear to have shown up at the first hearing, which was the violation hearing.
Correct.
You sort of scrolled through that quickly.
He was here.
Up right there.
He
Yeah.
was present, yeah.
All right, so they were present at the hearing, told them what to do, they didn't do it. I'm telling you again, you got to get a permit. It stops all the stuff here. They're probably the owner of the property that can get an owner-builder permit if they're homesteaded.
I don't see any assumption.
And once you get the permit and the inspection, you should be done. But I can't stop the fine or stop the process because that was what was supposed to have happened last meeting, which was in December.
Correct. It was the December 17th meeting in
And
compliance,
they had until when to comply?
February 25th.
February, so December, 2 months to comply. They didn't go get the permit. They were here, and I always tell people, just go get the permit. The people in front of you, the couple, they had a fence permit issue. They got a fence permit. They at least applied for it. I think they got it in the last couple of days. They waived the fine. But if the person hasn't applied for a permit, and we don't know when they're going to apply for a permit, how can I stop it? So how much is the fine?
This has been out of compliance for 13 days, so the fine amount is $325 and continuing.
All right, so I'm stuck right here now because of where we are and because they showed up and they didn't apply for a permit. So you tell Jane to go apply for the permit as soon as they can, and it will stop the fine when it's issued. Then you can come back and you can ask for a reduction. 5 people somewhere later are going to ask for a reduction. But that's how the process goes, and that's where I have to rule. So I will have to grant $325 plus continuing. Second appearance here, please just have them go fill out the permit application. It should be fairly easy. Yeah.
You have to do it online?
Yeah, you do it online, and just fill it in. Whoever sold you the garage door or sold Jean the garage door will have the engineering specifications. They'll just email them to you. You attach it to the application.
All right, I'm going to go online to when I get back home and get
Great.
the request
And
for the
sorry,
permit.
but this is, and you can come back for a reduction. So just have them go apply. At least stop the fines while they're small.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And if we could, he has another case on the agenda.
Okay, where is it?
It's on page 4. It's a violation hearing. It's the last violation case listed, 21-0023,
All right, so they're 2A now.
and it's 159 Sunflower Circle, Gene F. Duderval.
Code sections 2318B and 2316, prohibited vehicle parking in the street for an extended time. I observed this violation on 11521, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 11521, and posted it to the property as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right.
And sir, again, if you could look at the computer screen, I'm going to scroll through the exhibits. The first exhibit 1 is affidavit of service, the certified mailing documentation, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents, sir?
No objection.
All right, so it looks like a Ford F 350, 450, 550. It's a
Tow
big
truck.
one. And it's got a nice long flatbed tow body on it.
Yes.
And that's not allowed in the residential areas as a parking type vehicle. Is that correct?
Correct. Plus, it's parked in the roadway and it doesn't appear to move.
So it parks there for long periods of time?
Yeah.
This is my truck. I go to work with it every day.
Yeah, but you can't leave it parked overnight or parked in front of the house. It's
No, I go to work in the morning and at night I park it.
yeah, but I have testimony from the code enforcement officer that it's parked there for long periods of time.
No, when I just buy the truck like 4 weeks ago, a month ago. So you need to get some repair. That's why I stay. But now every morning I go to work with it.
But where do you put it at night? Do you bring it home?
Bring it home.
You can't bring it home. It's too big. It violates the town codes.
Yeah, it's a prohibited vehicle, being a tow truck. It's too big, and it's a tow truck. It's a
I'm
commercial
put it in my
vehicle.
driveway. It's not a
You
problem.
cannot put it in your driveway. That's the problem. This vehicle is not allowed to be parked in a residential part of Royal Palm Beach. I used to have a guy in my neighborhood, La Mancha, who had a truck tractor, who used to try to park it at his house in Royal Palm Beach. They don't allow that in the village. I mean, you can have, an F-350 with dually tires and all that stuff, but that's as big as you're pretty much allowed. Am I correct?
Right.
So this is just too big, and it's the wrong kind. Any kind of tow truck, I think, is prohibited. So it could even be an F-350 with a, wrecker hoist body on the back. That's not allowed to be parked in the village. So you have to find somewhere else to park it at night, or you're going to be fined. So how long does he have to deal with this?
This we're asking for compliance by March 26th or appearance at the April 14th fine assessment hearing. That's at 1:30 p.m. or a $50 per day fine.
All right, so you need to find somewhere to move this vehicle to before March 26th. And you need to call the code enforcement officer to verify it's not being parked there so she can give you an affidavit of compliance so you won't get a fine in this case. But you can't leave it at your house because it's the wrong type of vehicle to be parked there. It's kind of in the same category as buses and semi-tractors, food trucks, things of that nature just can't be parked in the residential neighborhoods.
I'm going to find a place next week to remove it.
Yeah. And after you move it though, please call them, because that way they will verify it's gone. And then she'll drive by a day or two to make sure. And then she'll write something up, put it in your file, and that way you won't get fined.
All right, understood.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
326, 414, or 50 is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we could
Okay.
go back, we'll wait for cleaning, but if we could go back to fine assessment hearings on page 1.
That's fine. We'll just take our break.
Thank you. Next case is 20-0674, 112 Vizcaya Avenue, PK Properties 2, Inc.
Okay. Very good attendance today. All right, sir, please state your name for the record.
My name is Manny Saria.
All right, stop, Marini. Spell your last name, please.
Sarria. S like in Sam.
Got it. Manny Sevilla. And what is your position with PK Properties 2, Inc.?
President.
Prez. Okay. All right. They've noted their appearance. You're going to look at the screen, and they're going to show you some documents.
Okay, we would like to enter the following into evidence. I'm sorry, the code section is 2318B1A, prohibited vehicle. I observed this on 1/5/21. The notice of violation and notice of hearing were mailed out on 1/5/21 and were posted. We'd like to enter
Well,
the
you're talking
following.
about the wrong case.
Yeah, we're on the wrong case.
You're 112 Vizcaya?
I think you were doing 216
Sorry
Cordova.
about that.
Not only the wrong case, wrong person? No? Yes? No.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a different code enforcement officer, but he's just trying to
No,
find
it's
the
the right
file.
one, just the wrong file.
Just finding the file. She's got the file on the computer, does she not?
I'm going to take a sip of water.
Go right ahead.
Bottom of 1.
See, I was right. It was a different code officer. Okay. Back to our
Sorry about
regularly
that.
scheduled program. We'll start with the presentation by Royal Palm Beach.
I'd like to enter the following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order, find in violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. AS400 permit information.
Okay.
Now I gotta get together here.
And sir, if you could take a look at the computer monitor to your right there, I'm going to scroll through the documents, and at the end I'm going to ask if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the signed green card, the previous order finding violation.
Stop there for a second. Okay. I just wanted to make sure he was here last time.
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to these documents, sir? Thank you, sir.
Go back up to page 2 of the order, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we have a pergola without a permit. You were here for the last hearing.
Yes, and we already had submitted for the permit even before we were here for the last hearing. With this permit, just we thought it would just be a few days. I mean, at the worst, a couple of weeks, but it goes on and on. So I complained to my GC, and he says, you know me, he's finished 5 houses for me, complete, start to finish, in the time that this pergola thing has been going on. And so he told me that I need to make the phone calls myself. So I called, and he told me the permit, the survey was no good. That's the first one. So we called the surveyor, and they said, we just got a CO for all those brand new houses with this survey, so I don't know why it's not good. So we told them to do whatever to make it better. So we brought the survey, still not acceptable. Same survey they used for the CO for the house. But so I said, well, what else? They said, well, we need to add the pergola. I guess you got that, which is it's a thing to grow flowers, a little, you know. But so we did that, and we did that, and then go back to the surveyor, and they said they're still no good. So they said, well, we'll talk to them. Can we talk to somebody there? When I told them that, then the problem went away. Then now the survey, let's see, now it's got the structure on it, and then waited again, nothing happened. I called and I give like my PR number, BLD 485, but they can never find it, even with the address. But now they've given me a new number, so hopefully in the future we can find it. Then then the next thing they said, but it keeps coming one thing at a time. Now we need a pervious area form filled out. Send it to the contractor. Contractor says, there's no pervious area. There's nothing. I don't know why we have to do that. So I called and told them the same thing. So they told us, well, you can submit it like that, but it's going to go in and it may come back. I said, well, there's no pervious area, so there's no reason for that. So it went back in. Then I'm waiting again. Then call back again. They said, plan fee not paid. I said, I thought we already paid the plan fee. So after a while of searching, they did find that the plan fee was paid. Then I told the contractor, they told me also to have the contractor go online and complete the task on Evolve or whatever. Then I was getting so close to the deadline, I called Margaret, the code enforcement officer, and she said, well, it looks like online, like you're going to be ready on the 1st. It only takes me a day. Well, I mean, there's nothing for us to do. We're just waiting for a permit, okay? So, and here we are again, and we're still no permit. So I can do it in one day if I get a permit. And I don't know what's being so difficult for us. The gentleman who works for me, he built, no joke, he started the same time we started 5 houses. They're CO'd today. 5 houses from scratch. We can't get...
Okay, well, I don't care about the 5 houses because that's not really relevant to this conversation here.
I understand.
The question is, you applied for a permit somewhere in, when, February? I'm trying to read this.
I applied before I even came for the last hearing.
So this is the second. You said they gave you a new...
Yeah, now they gave us the new number. But even with this new number, when I mention the new number, then I give the address.
Let me explain. So what happens is when a permit comes in, it comes in as a BLD number. Until it is taken in and accepted by us, at that point, we'll ask for money and it becomes a permit. So that's the change of the number. The issue is the contractor you had was having a hard time getting everything in because he just was having a hard time. He spoke with me and Joseph.
Okay.
So we finally got it in, but like you said, he may pay for it, he may do it until he completes the task, and we have no knowledge of that. We're not on his end. If he doesn't complete the task, it just sits there.
So this is going to be one comment at a time. We're going to one comment, we solve it, we come back. One more comment, we come back.
It wasn't that it was one comment, it was just he did not know how to do it. He had to come into the office and email us stuff because he could not figure out how to run the system.
Okay. So what do you
So
say?
that's not on us. He could come into the office.
No, obviously it's on me. So I'm trying to, I understand, I'm responsible. So what is that you suggest that I do?
Well, I don't know because we have a permit. Is it in review? It says it's in plan check right now.
It's, yeah.
I mean, your AS 400 dated 2/22/21. Says in plan check.
So it was issued a permit number.
It's got an application number. Yeah, and we're talking about a pergola, so the impervious area is going to be 4 4x4s.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Right,
That's
but
like-
it's part of the application. Whether he's changing it or not, it's still a document that has to be completed. Right, it's part of the application.
Well,
So,
then you fill it out as 0, right?
well, yeah,
But you
You have to submit the paperwork.
The rest of the information that's on there.
Okay,
You
well,
can't just say, I'm doing 0. You have to put in
what's on the
actually
property
on the
also.
property.
Right, so that there's no, and it would show that there's no net impact or additional impervious.
So it was issued a permit number on 2/22,
mm-hmm,
went into plan check. So
mm-hmm.
what's holding it up in planning?
See, that's,
Then,
all right,
no,
so
but that's
it's,
been
it
2
was,
weeks, so something.
it's been in plan check for weeks now. He's got problems because it's not coming out of plan check. We just bump this a month and let the things go through because he seems to have done something in application, although maybe not the most competent application by his
Right, but you have to
contractor.
stay on top of your stuff and
Right,
submit
and
it
that's
back.
That's
Just
what I'm saying.
submitting it or
He finally
submitting
got to the point of he got it enough stuff that he could get a payment for the plan in, and now it's held up by Royal Palm.
Yeah, it looks like it's sitting in planning, so they might be waiting for the impervious calculation, and if he doesn't submit
Yeah.
that back, it's gonna stay in planning.
Well,
It won't leave.
if it stays in planning and it comes back to me next month, I'll know. It's
Right.
still stuck in planning. Right now, I don't know if it's your fault or his fault. I just know it's in plan check, and I don't have any further information on it. So if I find him, it's going to go back to the first day he's supposed to do it anyway, right? If I issue a fine next month, it'll go back to whatever date he was supposed to cure by in the
February
order.
26th
February
would have
26th.
started the fine.
So the fine will still start on the 26th. We'll just know what's going on between you, your contractor, and the village's offices. And if the village can tell me the plan is still considered incomplete because he has not submitted this, then I'm happy to fine him starting on the 26th of February. Or if the village can tell me, well, we're just having a hard time, processing this, then I'll give him some more slack.
Just one comment. Ladies, gentlemen.
I don't think your comment's going to help. I think
She
think
she
you
said
need-
the impervious. No, she said the impervious. She says, what if he doesn't fill out this impervious thing? It's not relevant to this. There's no.
it's relevant to their application. I have a feeling your guy, your surveyor, did not give the prior impervious surface calculation and the after impervious calculation, which should be a net increase of 0. But if he didn't do the impervious surface calculations, then it could be your fault.
So basically, I need to do an impervious thing for.
You need to do something.
That's not relevant.
No, we're going to kick this a month, and you're going to get it fixed. And if you're not going to get it fixed, you're going to get fined. I'm giving you more
I
time.
want to get it fixed. This is like it's so easy.
You cannot tell me to tell them what to do. I am a outside contractor.
Oh, I'm not
All I'm
asking-
trying to do right now is get facts. And you're not helping yourself by going on.
Thank you.
So I have given you some relief so you can get this thing done, or they can prove to me that you're the problem in plan check, and I'll fine you. So when we come back here next month for this,
April 14th, yes, sir.
April 14th,
So you're saying I do need that impervious thing?
I'm saying that if they say you need to have an impervious calculation of the before, so you can prove in the after that there's no increase, you've got to give them the before. They've got to figure out how much your driveways and your house pad and your patios take up compared to the property. If you don't give them that information, you're not complete, and I'll fine you.
Thank you.
Okay?
So Special Magistrate, would you like to establish a new compliance date of 4/1? Or just,
I don't. You can do it any way you wish. I'm just giving him an opportunity to come back so we can get facts.
Okay, so we'll set a new compliance date of 4/1. If it's not complied by then, as you said before, the fine will start running on the 26th of February per your
That's
previous
fine.
order.
If you draft the order that way, I'll be happy to grant it and sign it.
So how long do I have?
You're going April 1st. So
Which is what, how long is that?
well, I don't know. It's this is
21
the
days.
10th. That's 21 days.
20-some days. I have a new one now.
Yeah. Well, you had a different BLT number, but you actually have a permit number now. If you give them your permit number, they can look it up and see what's holding it up, why it's where
Yeah,
it is.
you are here. You might as well go over there and ask.
Okay.
Is the application number the 486?
And we'll maintain the $25 a day, Special Magistrate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
All right, 4/1
4/14 at 1:30 p.m.
and 25 and fine back to 226.
If not complied, yes, sir.
Sure, granted.
Thank you.
More complicated than it needed to be.
Moving
Sorry.
now to repeat violations on page 2. Case, hold on, cleaning break, sorry.
I bought bank stocks and oil stocks, but I didn't buy Lysol. I should have bought Lysol.
Nobody knew.
In the middle of the pandemic, gas prices went down to like nothing. It was so nice. All right, are we have another couple in here? They were sworn?
Yeah, we need to swear people in.
Do we need any more, or is this 2 enough?
2 by every 2.
Okay, do we have enough space for them? If they're singles, yeah. I think you're doing 3 or 4 at a time. I don't know. Hopefully, and I won't be talking through this. This is the only time I've ever wished I was older, other than when I was a teenager. Like I'm 4 years under the line. It's like, hey. So, yeah. Well, I hear that's changing soon, so maybe I'll get lucky. All right, hold on. I think are we good, or I think we're having one more person.
One more. We can swear these in though, and then
Let's see. Okay.
just to call them on the phone. So it's
Okay. Well, if they're going to call them on the phone, I'm just going to swear them in like 12
She
seconds.
says, go ahead.
Everyone raise your right hand so we can swear you in. Yes, todos, everybody. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say I do. Everyone does, and they can tell their right from their left. This is a good crowd. All right, next one.
Thank you. This is a repeat violation 21-0096, 170 Bilbao Street, Reno L. and Deborah C. Wells.
Code sections 14.4A, disabled vehicles.
All right, hold on one sec. Who's here for the 170 Bilbao Street case? Let's get your appearance first. Okay.
You say your name for the record, ma'am?
All right, Deborah Wells,
Thank
she's
you.
one of the respondents.
Go ahead.
All right, Ms. Wells, the village will show you some documents on the computer.
Code sections 14.4A, disabled vehicles. I observed this violation on 2/10/21, sent out notice of violation notice of hearing on 2/10/21, and posted it to the property as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of repeat violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so you need to look at the screen, ma'am, and they'll go cycle through all these documents.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm going to run through the documents and at the end ask if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing, the certified mail documentation, the notice of violation, notice of hearing, signed green card, the previous order finding violation.
Stop for 1 second. All right, we're not. Go to the next page, please. Stop. Okay. November 29th. Great, thank you.
Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. And Exhibit 5 is an affidavit of compliance. Do you have any objection to these documents, ma'am? Any objection to the documents?
No.
Thank
All
you.
right, admitted without objection. So you have a 3-year fine?
No, this is a repeat violation.
Oh, okay, so this is just more,
Correct. Repeat violation started on February 10th and ran through March 4th, a total of 23 days. So the village is asking for a fine of $1,150 and not continuing.
all right, so they're saying that there was a prior order in 2018 where you had similar issues with vehicles. You brought another one home and you left it there for 23 days. Is that correct, or do you have anything to say about that?
Well, it was taken care of back then.
No, it was taken care of because they're saying that it stopped after 23 days. So you did stop it, it's not continuing.
No, the first violation was taken care of.
Oh, I know, but it just sets you up for the second. If you have the similar violation within 5 years, you become a repeat violator, and they don't have to tell you you've got 10 days to move it. They just say, fine, start now.
Correct.
And that's what happened. So you didn't get the 10-day grace period because this had happened in 2018. So is there anything you can tell me about the car? It wasn't there that long, or anything else? Because
Oh, one is my sister's car that moved in with me, and one is my son's car that wasn't working, and we had looked into trying to get the cars fixed, but then it was a little bit too costly. We couldn't afford it, so we didn't get them fixed. And back around Thanksgiving, I was looking into trying to have them removed. Just time went by and other things happened that I wasn't able to get it moved back then.
Okay, well, they're only talking about February to March of this year.
February 10th to March 4th.
That's the issue, and unless he had the car tagged, I see is there just a black piece of tape over the sticker there?
Yeah. But they now have a new tag on the Lexus.
So
It's
yeah, so they
current.
got it tagged, so they got it fixed, but they have the fine.
Yeah.
All right, so where I am because of the prior violation, there's really nothing I can do about the fine. You can come in and ask to be reduced at a later time.
I can't afford that. I'm a
Yeah, well-
divorced woman, and I
Yeah, the thing about
got a
this
lot
is,
of bills, and I can't afford to pay no fines like that. I don't have that type of money.
that's fine. If this is your homestead property, they can't really foreclose on it. They can't do anything to it. You can resolve it someday. You'll have to resolve it if you ever sell the house. But it's at least a fine that's not going any further. It's stopping at $1,100. And if
But
you
that's
do
a
have
lot of
some
money I
no,
need
stop.
reduced.
Let me finish my conversation.
I can't afford that.
No, you don't have to pay that, is what I'm telling you right now. But if you do get to a point where you do have some funds that you do wish to try to resolve this, you can try. But
Well,
there's going
can
to
it
be
be
a fine.
reduced?
There's going to be a fine levied, but it's basically just going to sit there until you either resolve it or you sell your house.
Can it be reduced?
It can be reduced, but not at this hearing because it's not even a fine yet until I sign the order.
Okay, when can I come back to see? Can it be
So you can
reduced?
come back later on to tell me why it should be reduced, and I'll listen. It's
Do I
all-
need to make
You'll
an
have to
appointment
wait
or
till the
what?
order's signed, and they have a simple application form you can fill out.
All right.
Okay? So the 1150 is granted with no continuing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, the next case, I take it is a violation.
Yes, but we need to clean.
We need a cleaning interval. Oh, we've done the cleaning interval switch now.
I'm sorry. Did you say something to me?
So we have a a switch of cleaners. This is the, I'll do 3, you do 3?
Next case is in the middle of page 2, 21-0005, 138 Valencia Street, Jacinth R. Christopher Gilbert.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Your name is? Oh, stop for what? Oh, stop. Franklin? Okay, like the turtle? Okay. This is 2000 or 2105? Okay. And you're the lessee, you're the tenant? Yes. Okay, I was wondering why. Okay. All right, so he's made his appearance. Please tell me about the case. Yeah. No. They go first.
Code section is 2318B1A, prohibited vehicle. I observed this on 1/5/21. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out on 1/5/21 and were posted. We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
And sir, if you could look at the computer screen, I'm going to scroll through the documents, and at the end, I'm going to ask if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing, the certified mail documentation, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents, sir? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so this at least is curable. All right, so the violation is for prohibited or disabled. Well, no, actually, I'm on the wrong thing. Prohibited vehicle. All right, and it's prohibited because it has the machinery,
All the equipment is
hoses in the back,
exposed.
and it would be a not prohibited vehicle if you put a topper on it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give you time. You're probably going to have days and weeks. Yeah, well, what we're probably looking at is sometime in the end of March.
Yeah, we were looking for compliance by 3/25 or the
4/25.
4/14 fine assessment hearing at 1:30 p.m. or
4/14.
$25 a day fine.
25.
Yes, sir.
All right, so once again, sir, you are doing the right thing by putting a topper on it, which makes it at least parkable in your yard, unlike a tow truck, which you can't put a topper on. And it's not an issue. The only issue is the machinery in the back, and if you cover the machinery in the back, you're good. But it doesn't count unless you call that lovely lady, you have her come out and look at your lovely new toppers. Well, yeah, I mean, she probably will go, oh, you've done one? I might think about going by there and looking. Okay, but you do two and you call, and I would email. That way you have a record of when you asked her to look.
Yes, she did.
Okay, that's just for your safety. If you email it, it's not a, I called them on such a date, here's my email. So trial lawyers love proof. We just love proof. So if you get done before the 25th, you call her and get it inspected, you are good to go.
Thank you.
Your landlord will get an order in the mail, okay, and you can explain it to them. Bermuda? That sounds good. Yeah, I'll just tell the property manager, whatever. Just tell them it's going to be taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next.
Moving to page 3.
Oh, cleaning interval. What case will... The mics are off? Oh. Okay. Hopefully another microphone picked it up. Now the cleaning crew has to check for microphone status.
I remembered to turn them off, but I didn't remember to turn them on.
Okay. You're up. What
What
case
is
are we
this
on?
case? Page 3, 21-0055, 1579 Briar Oak Drive, Michael and Tammy Wallace.
Okay, number 6.
Code
All right,
sec-
hold on one second. Just your appearance for the record, sir. Your name?
Michael Wallace.
Good. Thank you, sir. Michael Wallace.
Code section 2317, vehicle blocking the sidewalk. I observed this on 12721. The notice violation was mailed out on 12821 and was signed for on 2821. The notice of hearing was mailed out 21121 and was signed for on 21321. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so this
Sir.
should be easy.
If you could look at the computer screen, I'm going to scroll through these documents, and at the end, I'm going to ask you if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the certified mailing documentation. Exhibit 2, notice of violation. And certified mailing. Notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. Exhibit 5 is an affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents, sir?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So it was a Jeep? The Jeep was the one?
Sometimes it was a different vehicle, but it
Okay.
was the Jeep, yes.
Okay.
And we're asking for a finding of fact.
Okay. Finding facts granted.
Thank you.
If you had my CJ5, it would be short. It wouldn't block the driveway.
I'm sorry?
You had my Jeep. If you had my CJ5, which is like a 1968 Jeep, it would be short and it would not block the driveway.
You're right. And you know,
You
if
get
I,
these long, you get these long Jeeps, they get to be issues. All right, so finding of fact is granted. That means that you are now in compliance. But if you are found to be in violation again, it will be a repeat.
Yes.
Okay. So try not to do it again because they do not have to give you warning the second time.
and if I can, and I have a question, you know, and I get this, I understand. You know, again, the Village of Royal Palm, you allowed Madison Green to be built. It's a 5-bedroom house. So eventually you're going to have, for the most part, 6 people living in that house. I have 4 kids, so mom, dad, 4 kids. Little kids, little problems. Big kids grow up, they start driving. So most people do not use a garage to park cars. I don't. So 6 cars to park in a 2-car driveway. Now, I can tell you how this has been remedied now, is I'm forcing people to leave Royal Palm. My oldest daughter's already left, so the white car that's parked in the street is gone. You'll see that only when she comes and visits. There's another car that's parked there that's gone. I moved out. So, you know, again, it's hard. What is the suggestion? What is your proposal that somebody like me would do to remedy this problem where we can't park in the street, so you're going to have to block a driveway to park cars, or you just, you know, we can't park.
This is a self-inflicted injury on your behalf. It's not really cool to blame the village because you knew you were going to get a house that had a 2-car garage that allowed also 2 cars behind it, which would fit. That's 4, and you could park one in the direction of traffic on the other side of the sidewalk. That's 5. But you'd have to move that car to get all the other ones out. I bought a house in La Mancha. I have a double-wide circular driveway, and I bought that house because of that driveway. I can park 8 or 10 cars there. I have 2 cars in the garage. I have 2 cars outside. You know, everything's good, but this is you. You purchased the house. If you're going to get to a point where all your kids need cars and spaces, it's time to purchase a different house. Madison Green, you know, 0 lot line houses crammed together like rats in a cage. Not my preference, but you're the one who purchased it. The village let it go on this 0 lot line fashion because people wanted the product.
I will tell you this, it's remedied now. there should not be any more than 3 cars there to include the patrol car.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine, and
so-
maybe this should have been a
We
confidential
shouldn't
record
have this
case.
issue
I
again.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, it should not be a problem. You may just want to consider a different location when your kids get older. Because I have one in college, she's coming back. I have one who turned 17, she doesn't have her license yet, but we have space. So you're going to have to find somewhere where you have space. Okay? All right, this finding of fact is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Oh,
You're all set.
cleaning interval. Cleaning interval. Yeah, I think I can only get 8 cars in my driveway.
And I think we need to swear the room in again.
Yeah, new swear. Okay, I'll wait till cleaning is done. All right, will everyone please raise your right hand and say, I do, when we're done. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Everyone
Thank you,
does.
Special
Cool.
Magistrate. This is page 3, case 21-0073, 1406 Thornridge Lane, Marta and Fidel Torres.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. This is my dad. He doesn't speak really good English, so I'm just going to interpret for him.
That's wonderful.
What's
Is
your
your
name, ma'am?
father
My name is Vanessa Lang. Lang is the last name.
Vanessa,
Yes, sir.
and you are daughter?
Yes.
And this is Fidel?
Yes, Torres.
Gracias. Okay, go ahead, Village.
Code section is 2657, shed installed without a permit. I observed this on 129/21. The notice of violation was mailed out 129/21 and was signed for on 2/1/21. The notice of hearing was sent out 2/19/21 and was returned on 2/20/21. We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay.
And if you guys look at the computer screen, I'm going to scroll through the documents, and at the end, I'm going to ask you if he has any objection to the
Okay,
documents.
Perfect.
Thank you. Exhibit 1 is the certified mailing, signed green card for the notice of violation. Exhibit 2, signed green card, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership.
Okay.
Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to the documents, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, no objections.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
we're good without objection, so I'm looking at the darker roof structure behind the two-tone fence.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure I'm in the right place. All right, and you have no permit information on the shed?
No.
Okay. Did you build the shed, buy the shed, or install the shed?
No. So they bought the shed. Apparently the shed was there, and I guess during one of our storms, the shed kind of like collapsed. So they just replaced the old shed with the new shed that had the same dimensions.
Yeah, the problem is, I don't know, is there a shed permit anywhere in this?
Not that, I
Not
would
that
have to
you're
go
aware of?
back and double check just to make sure, but I don't believe so.
Okay. What happens a lot in the world is that people, when they buy properties, never go check to see if things are permitted, and the only people who do that are anal attorneys. So
Listen, I bought a house 6 years ago. I checked all my permits because we had an illegal structure. So
you know.
I totally know. I get it.
So, you may have had a shed on your property. It usually is the prior owner who put the shed up there, and then you put a new shed to replace the old shed, but the old shed wasn't permitted, and you never knew.
Okay, so now how do we go
Now is
forward?
what we're going to do is, since this is a violation hearing, I'm going to give you a bunch of time
Okay.
to go apply for a shed permit You probably need to have a survey done. It's
Okay.
going to be expensive because those are usually like $300-400. I don't know how much are surveys these days. $300-400. And it may be more, but the best thing to do in that case is if the surveying company is actually still in existence, call them and have them do a resurvey.
Okay.
Because they will go, oh, I did that last one. I just have to put this new piece on there.
Okay.
What you were going to give them until the end of March, or are you going to give?
Yeah, we were asking for compliance by April 1st or
No,
the,
no, we're not going to give them April 1st. We're going to give another month. So you can do it May something.
well, we don't have set hearings after April 14th. So
Um,
can you do April 13th?
We'll do April. What 14th is the Wednesday?
Yes, sir.
You can do it on the 12th if you want to, but I'm gonna.
Even the 13th is fine. Yeah.
Okay, 413. And that way, at least I'll know. And can we make this a status/fine assessment? That way, if they've applied and they're in process and it's taking a while, I can bump them again.
That's fine. Or $25 a day fine.
Your other
413,
option-
414, 25.
Your other option too, if you just wanted to remove it, if it turns out that it's too much for the survey and all that,
Okay.
if you remove it, you can call me out, and I'll do a reinspection. That also will bring you into compliance.
I mean, just out of my personal question, because I live in an HOA, so I don't have this issue. The shed has no electricity or no plumbing or anything.
It's just a structure.
It's just a structure survey and a structure.
Yeah, is it on a slab or is it on the ground?
It's on the ground.
Okay, so you're going to have to get a survey done, and
Okay.
that's going to be your most expensive thing.
Okay.
Is the shed homemade, or is it?
No, I think you
Because that homemade.
you made it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
homemade.
that's horrible then. No, the problem is you have to have engineering for your stuff now. I built a playhouse. Had no engineering documents. Walked in with a legal pad with 3 pages because I just had to figure out how much wood I had to buy.
Okay.
That was like 15, 20 years ago. All cool. Nowadays, you have to come up with engineering.
Okay.
That's going to kill you. Because you're not going to hire an engineer to tell you or to do an inspection to give you a wind load rating on your homemade shed.
Correct.
So I got to tell you, that's going to be your big problem there.
Okay.
If you buy a shed from Home Depot, Lowe's, or Ted Sheds, whoever sells you sheds, they all have the engineering documents that they will send you for your permit application.
Okay.
So it may be easier for you practically
Just purchase one.
to remove this one,
Okay.
get out of trouble, permit, and purchase one.
Okay. Perfect. And whichever way we go, we just contact you and just.
Just
Yeah,
make
come
sure
and take a look.
before
Okay.
413 that you've either got your plans going so I can bump it more,
Okay.
or that you have it removed so we can take you off.
Okay. Perfect. Is there any fine now?
Not at this point. That's
Okay.
why.
Great.
And this problem is COVID-y because we used to have every month hearings and they could tell me through 2028 when your hearing would be, but nowadays it's
Yeah,
all
but-
like,
I work in law enforcement, and I used to go to court like 3 times a week, so I get it. Now with COVID, I do Zoom, so I get it.
okay, so 413, 414, 25,
Okay.
you've got stuff to do.
Got it.
She's got a card out, I thought.
I did, but you have my number, right?
Okay.
It's right here, right?
Yeah,
Is it the one
okay.
that's on the? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Granted.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your number. Okay.
And my unengineered playhouse made it through 3 hurricanes without losing a shingle. My friends used to joke they would hide in my playhouse during a hurricane. I believe the gentleman is sworn in, but the lady is not.
That's correct.
Okay, so after the gentleman, we will do another swearing. Okay, that's fine.
Next case is on the same page, page 3, 20-0682, 152 Roy Court Circle, Lucum, Mercy. I apologize if I mispronounced your first name.
Yes.
All right, you've heard half of the shed world, so you're going to get the other half. Your name, sir, is?
Luca Mercy.
Great. He's the owner. Okay, please proceed.
Code sections 2657, 1557, shed without permit and setback area, high grass and weeds. I observed this violation on 8/27/20, sent out notice of violation on 8/27/20, sent out notice of hearing on 2/10/21. It was delivered on 2/12/21. I also posted it to the property. I'd like to know the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS400 permit information.
All right.
And sir, if you could look at the computer monitor, I'm going to scroll through the documents, and at the end, I'm going to ask if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation. Notice of violation. Affidavit of service for the notice of hearing is Exhibit 2 with the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violations. And Exhibit 5 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Any objection to these documents?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Did you put the shed in?
No, the shed was originally at the house, but I was just remodeling the backyard, and I did move the shed over.
Right.
It wasn't in the original spot that the shed
Oh,
was.
no. Okay. Stop. Go back up to the AS, whatever it is. I think. Fence, roof, model, screen. Screen. What's SCRE? Is that screen? Am I guessing correctly?
Yeah, screen enclosure.
Screen enclosure. What's OS? Other structure? Okay.
923244.
I was just trying to see if he had a permit there that I could easily discern.
I didn't see any of them being a shed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Because anyone who buys a problem gets a little more time to solve the problem.
And plus, it's in the setback
Oh,
area.
that he has to fix as well. It's just not. There are two problems with this, it appears. It's not permitted because the prior owner didn't permit the shed. They're looking it up just to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second one is where it's located. It's up against the fence. It can't be in the setback. And what's the setback there? 10, 20? You'll have to find out. So the fence, it can't be up against the fence. It looks like a 10 shed or something manufactured. So the question becomes, do you have space to put it where it should be?
Yes, I do got space. I just didn't know I couldn't move it. Originally, where it was at, you couldn't see it from the road, and
Right. You made it visible.
yeah, I made it visible.
So
But when I looked at the paperwork they gave me when I first bought the house, it's showing that the shed was there.
yeah, what the surveyor does,
That survey, I
yeah,
don't know.
the surveyor just tells you what's there.
Okay.
If you had a pool there, he'd put a pool. He doesn't care if the pool's permitted or unpermitted.
Okay.
If you have a fence there, he puts the fence line. He doesn't know if it's permitted or unpermitted.
Okay.
So you have proof that it was there, but it's still not permitted. So you have to decide whether or not you want to try to permit it, and you'd have to put it back at the same spot so it would be in the setback. So what's your preference here? You're going to try to permit it. If you remove it, it goes away as a problem. If you permit it, it also goes away as a problem. It's just a more active thing to do.
Okay. So right now, the shed don't have a permit. That's what you're telling me. So.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
they looked it up and they couldn't find one.
Wow.
So, I can give you the same opportunity as the last person, till the last day and let you see if you want to do it or remove it. And then I can give you some more
I do
time.
need the shed because the house that I purchased don't have a garage. I can't put the stuff.
Right, so you're going to try. It's going to be a little expensive, and you're going to try to find the engineering stuff on this. So, if you
Special
can,
Magistrate, that's not the only violation. There's also a 1557 high grass and weeds
well,
violation.
that's the easy one. Mow the damn grass.
What happened?
They say your grass is too tall.
Oh, no,
Mow it.
I cut the grass. That time they came out, yes, it was a little tall. I was out of town and I just got back, but the grass been taken care of lately. It hasn't been high at all lately.
Yeah, so she'll look. I mean, if you even look
You
at the
need to
picture.
get up by the front door as well, in that planted area by the front door.
Okay.
I don't have a photo
No, I
of
mean,
it,
if you
but
look
that,
at the
it's high there
3.6
as well.
photograph with the Cadillac SUV there, you see the grass looks okay. So I'm not concerned with the high grass and weeds as much as
The shed.
the shed, because that all this lawnmower you've done, weed eater. So what I'm trying to do is get you right on the shed part, but you're going to need a survey. Now, if he's just trying to replace it,
Pardon me?
I'm just trying to work my. If he's just trying to replace it, does he need a new survey? Because the old survey will show where it goes. He needs a new
You
one.
would need a new survey, yeah, or
Okay,
an
I'm
up to
just trying-
date.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get him the answers here so he doesn't have to go call in and get confused. So you're probably going to need a new survey, so that's going to be a few $100s there minimum. And then you're going to need to try to find the engineering on your shed, so you're going to need to look in there and see if you can find the manufacturer. If you can find it's like a TED shed or a nationally recognized brand, they'll have the engineering documents that they can send you. But if they don't, you're going to have a problem. So those are the things you need to do.
If they don't, I might have to get a new shed or something. Or...
But you're going to have to permit the new shed too. So, all right. So 413, 414, 25, and it's the status fine, and we can see what he's doing because he's got to do some research.
Or $25 a day fine.
Yep, that's wonderful. 413, 414, 25, status fine. Yeah, if you cannot find the engineering documents on the shed, and, you know, it's going to be a big problem. You may want to demo that one and just start anew with a new shed in a new
I
location.
don't think I'll be able to find it because I moved in the house and it was already there and I don't have no type of paperwork.
Yeah, well, all I'm trying to say is if it has a tag on the inside that says made by so-and-so, because it's a nice metal shed, you may be able to find that and find the documents. If you can't find that, then you're not going to hire an engineer to go do that. So this gives you an opportunity to go do a little research to decide whether you want to remove it or if you can find the stuff, permit it. Okay? 413, 414, 25, status fine, granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
We have a cleaning interval. I'm going to go to the
Get
restroom.
paperwork in the mail for that.
Okay. I'll be back in 1 minute. You're cleaning.
13.
13. April 13th was the date, Linda. Yes, ma'am.
Is that the only violations and stuff they have on it? That's the only thing I'm here for.
You had to mow the grass and
Okay.
clean all that up
Yes,
on
I
the front
did.
door.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come in. Do what? Oh, to make sure they're working. Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard to call people.
Raise your right hand. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Everyone does. Everyone. Excellent. All right.
Thank you. Next,
Good crowd.
we're back on page 4, third one down, 20-0905, 1048 Concert Way. Micheline Constant.
Okay. Your name, please?
Jennifer Theodore.
Jennifer. Theodore.
Without the E at the end.
Oh, okay. Theodore with no E.
And your
Okay,
relation?
and what is your position relation to Micheline Constant?
I'm her cousin.
Okay.
Okay. And we have paperwork that she's authorized to represent the respondent.
Okay.
Code section is 622-108.4, a room or an addition without a permit. I observed this violation on 12/15/20, sent out notice of violation on 12/15/20, sent out notice of hearing on 2/2/21, and have the green card on both of those. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, picture. Exhibit 5, AS400 permit information.
And ma'am, if you could look at that computer screen, I'm going to scroll through the documents, explain them, and at the end ask if you have any objection. Exhibit 1 is the signed green card, as well as the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is the certified mailing, the signed green card, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. And Exhibit 5 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to these documents, ma'am?
No.
Thank you.
All right. What am I looking at in the picture?
You see that white roof line in the back?
Yes, I do.
That's the addition.
Okay. Is it a room? Is it a porch? Do you
It's
have
a room, an enclosed room.
Okay. It's a room. Okay. All right. They're saying that there's a new room on the back of the house. Is that correct? Yes. And they're saying that if you go up one more screen, the other way, excuse me, go down one more screen, there's fence, there's roof, there's other things, but there's no room addition permit.
Oh, no, there's no, yeah.
And they asked you to try to permit it to
They're
come
not
into compliance.
From what Ms. Constance says in reference to it, she was trying to get a permit for it, and it wasn't built properly, so she's going to have to remove it. She recently started a new job out of town, and I believe her father was going to remove it, and he got COVID.
Oh.
So she just needs more time to get it taken care of.
The joys of 2020/2021. Okay, so what are we going to do? Because you don't have a lot of...
Yeah, and actually, I misread the agenda. There actually is a 5/12 hearing.
What?
So we're asking for compliance by April 29th or 5/12, May 12th,
Okay,
or $50
$429,
per day.
512. So if she removes the offending structure before the 29th of April, gives you about a month and a half, then she's cool.
Right.
In legal terms.
Right.
And then she can permit a new structure that can be built properly.
Correct.
Okay? 429, 512, 25.
$50 per day, please.
$50 per day. Okay, 50. Once the structure is removed, the room part, call that lady so she can confirm that it's done before April 29th, and then you won't have any issues.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I have, he's sworn. I don't know about these other guys, though. Those two are good. The other two aren't. The other two, red mask, Jamaican mask, right hand up. You swear to tell the truth. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Say I do. All right, everyone's sworn in. We're still working on prior cases, but trying to keep up with everything. Next one is a fine mitigation or a...
Yes, sir, fine mitigation.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. I have one more in service in between. Which one will the next one be?
The first fine mitigation, case 15.
Okay. putting my number of appearance down.
Thank you. Case 15-1069-1138 Chorus Way, Gene Benskin.
Okay.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. What is the amount of the fine? I bet this will be hefty.
$8,300.
All right, ma'am, you are Jean Breskin,
Yes,
and you're asking that the fine be reduced?
please, because I had no clue about this. I just found out when my house got burnt on the 5th of October, when the men went to pull permit. They're the one who told me that there was a lien on my house. So I thought it was their doing. They probably started to do something, and the village came and saw them, and I said, I don't know about that. And they mentioned like $800, and I was like, oh my God. But then after I called and got into all of it, I found it was $8,000. And I'm saying, when was this? I know I got a job in 2015, like the end of 2014 to the 2015, and it was a living job. And so my house was in foreclosure, and I got this job and was able to bring my house, out of foreclosure. But I remember calling, finding out the lady was going to New York, and I ended up going with her, so I wasn't here. And so I did not know that there was something, when I remember calling, when I came down once with her, she would stay 6 months, and I came down, and I found out that there was my, something there for me to comply with. And I called. I'm not sure if it was the same incident, but I called and they said to me, well, I didn't come in compliance yet. So I said, why? Because the house is painted. And then she said one side, and they sent me a picture of the side of the house. And then I came off on the weekend, and I went and I saw that it was really, the 3 corners were done, the 3 sides and 1 side. So I did it myself and called on the Monday and let them know. So that's all I knew. And so I'm in awe when I heard that I had a lien on the house. I didn't have a clue.
Okay. So what is the village's position?
This did happen in 2015. The previous order assessing fine was from October 20th of 2015. The village would be amenable to reduction. The amount that we have is $2,052.92.
All right, so it's $8,300. The village says it's what? 20 what?
2052.92.
And what do you think?
Huh?
Because there's a lien, they do have costs and things, so
Right,
what number are you proposing?
$1,000.
Sold. I'll reduce it to $1,000.
Is there any way I can pay with a credit card?
No, but I'll give you time. You got to give it a few
90
months.
days
90 days.
is June 10th.
Can I sign a check for tomorrow? My pay coming.
No. You're going to get the money together, but you're going to have like 90 days to pay. So when you
Oh,
get it
thank
together.
you very much.
Okay, bye.
Thank you
They
very
always give me a
much.
specific date. So
June 10th is 90 days.
610. All right, 1,000 by 610, it goes back because it's just a dirty
And
sidewalk.
I thank you very much.
And I don't understand why they
knew-
would paint 3 sides and not the last. That's just strange to me. So, interesting circumstances. You'll get an order in the mail when you get the $1,000 together. Come by.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next,
Have a
please.
good day.
I'm good right now. I'm surprised I'm not coughing. Every time I put on a mask, it's like this psychological need to cough. Like I'm fine until I put the mask on. I'm like, okay.
Next case is 19-1148, 179 Cordoba Circle, Effie Nazareth.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter request and fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, previous order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership.
All right, and you are Juan Valdez?
I'm actually Nicholas Alonso, his associate.
Ah, see, not even close.
What was your
All
last
right,
name,
Nicholas?
sir?
Alonso, A-L-O-N-S-O.
Is Nicholas?
Yeah, Nick or Nicholas.
Okay. And how do you represent them? Or do you represent them?
Yeah, Casado Valdez.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're with Valdez Law Firm. What's the relationship to Effie Nazareth?
Actually, our client, Kappa Homes, they acquired title from Miss Nazareth in a foreclosure back in December of 2019.
Okay. So, got it. You just don't, do you have a certificate of title?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm just curious because they're going to show me probably, no, they don't show me at this time. They don't care anymore. In violations and fines, they always give me an affidavit or they give me the printout to show me who owns it, but that's okay. You're the one. All right, how much is the fine here?
The fine amount is $6,575.
6575. Okay. All right. Why should the fine be reduced?
Well, Your Honor, our client acquired title back in December 2019, December 18th, 2019. Certificate was transferred 3 days after the violation, after the order was entered. Kappa Homes didn't find out about the violation back until June of 2020, I'm sorry. When they got the notice, they actually contacted the offices to see if they could get it fixed. They did so. They were in compliance, I believe, August of 2020. They did it real quick. They did it quickly, within 2 months, and they had no idea they had a lien on the house. So we're asking to reduce the amount just because first they weren't the owners when the violation occurred, and second, when they found out, they did it quickly.
Okay. And what is the village's position in this one?
Do you have a number in mind, sir?
$500. They did it within 2 months.
The village would be amenable to reduction. We're recommending a little higher than that. We're recommending 1704.38.
So 500 and 1700.
Could we meet at 1,000?
Somewhere like 1100. I'm trying to figure out the math. That's why I'm not a doctor. Horrible at math. So 1100. Well, 500 and what's 17? Or what was yours?
It was
1,200
17.
difference.
1200 is
So
the
plus
difference.
500 is 1100. Yes, you're right.
My math isn't horrible. Okay, 1100 by 610.
That's fine.
You need to get your card over to somebody so they give you a copy of the order because I have a feeling it's being mailed out to someone who does not own it anymore.
Yeah.
I usually don't sign these things until next week, so.
Okay. Just my card information?
Yeah, if
Just
you give them
give
a
the code
card.
enforcement officer your card.
I don't know how we arrange this. Do you throw it at her or do you leave it in a place that she walks over and gets it?
Make
This
a
is-
paper airplane.
Yeah, it's like 2020, 2021. When will it end? All right, sir. Good job.
Appreciate it.
See you later. And we are the next one.
We have a cleaning break. We're going straight in order, Special Magistrate.
Okay. My fine reductions are the ones who show up all the time. people are very ambitious. I saw that the case number 2105 had 7 zeros in front of it. So you're going to run like 1 million cases this year?
Next one is 18-1789 102 Prestige Drive, Tavares and Myrick.
Myrick.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Thank you.
Myrick.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. And how much is the fine in this case?
$15,050. And your name is, ma'am?
Tavares.
Thank you. I apologize for mispronouncing your last name.
Okay. So tell me why the fine should be reduced.
One, I was unaware in reference to the fines. They told me the first, when I received the notice, it was in reference to my swing that I had a place set in the back, and they told me I needed a permit. And also, when they told me I needed a permit, they told me, oh, also your garbage can is visible. So the development that I'm in, my garbage can was there prior to me moving into the house. And not only is my garbage can is present, but everybody in the development is
Throwing other people under the bus doesn't help.
Yeah, but what happened when I received the notice, I thought it was from my HOA, and they told me no, it wasn't from them. So I contacted the city, the village, in reference to. So that's how I found out about the permit and everything that I needed. So recently, back in November, I called to find out that I had a lien on my house, and I asked what for. I was told you don't have your permit, and I was like, yes, I do have my permit. Well, I don't see it, and I said, ma'am, I have a copy of my permit at home. Oh, well, it's not for your permit, then it's for your garbage can. I'm like, what happened with my garbage can? Did you move the garbage can? Did someone come out? Oh, you're supposed to call us out to see. And we sent you notices, but during the pandemic, I teach at home. So I didn't receive anything indicating that I was in violations or that I was notified that they came out to check for my garbage can. So she told me, you're in violation since 2018. And I'm like, 2018, I've taken care of everything. Why should I be paying $25 a day for a garbage can that's been moved? Everything was up to par. And I was informed that just because you pay your permit doesn't mean it was done in a timely manner. But I was told during the time that I submitted everything that everything will be fine. And then I was informed, oh, you were supposed to go to another hearing. You were supposed to have this done. You should have called us and told us. I'm like, when I turned everything in, no one informed me anything else of what was going on. I haven't received any kind of notices. I haven't, just unaware of what the regulations were. So
we'll stop you here for a second. Do you have a permit for the play structure?
I have the permit. It was approved and everything, but I don't even have play set anymore.
Well, that doesn't matter, because if it was
I got
permitted,
the permit.
You have a permit? Do you have a copy of it?
Not on me, but it was completed through
The village has
The
complied
village.
her out. She couldn't be here without being in compliance. The compliance date was October 23rd of 2020.
So she was permitted, and then the garbage can was just a screen thing?
Yeah, this was Gail's case, so.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's what I'm
for
trying to say. But in my analysis here, the big thing was the play set, and the throw-in thing was the garbage can. Because if you're there, you might as well notice it. And if the big thing was permitted, but they just didn't have it in the records or whatever, then we're just down to the garbage can, correct?
Right.
So,
But they're both complied.
I mean, they're both complied, yes. But, it's one thing. It's like, dirty sidewalk versus trash all over everything, creating rats, mice, and, problems. It's different things on the bad scale. I'm just trying to think of how bad to weigh this.
Yeah, unfortunately, your previous order is on the screen. It was from March 15th. Unfortunately, all of the two items remain out of compliance for
All right, well, what's the
over a
village's
year.
position?
We're willing to entertain a reduction. I can give you our number. Our number would be $3,100.49.
All right, Ms. Myrick, what is your number? What do you think you want it reduced to
For
for your garbage can being not screened properly?
now, I wasn't told anything about being. I'm
They-
just
I
indicating.
know. I've heard your response. That's why I'm just trying to get to the next phase. What would you be able to pay to resolve this?
And Special Magistrate, just before she answers, the violation, it's both issues. It wasn't just the garbage cans. Your order assessing fine, the place set without a permit was still out of compliance.
All right, but she's saying she had a permit
After the,
after she got the fine.
I would okay.
Okay.
I received the fine. I contacted to find out what was the problem. When I contacted, they said I needed a permit. At first, I contacted my HOA to see if that was through them. It wasn't, so I
Okay.
notified the city.
All right, so
When they told
we're getting back to